everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about my Pinterest inspo for our new home build. This is a video that I have been wanting to do for the longest time on here. Like I'm talking about 2.5, 3 years. Before this channel even started, I've been wanting to do this video and I wasn't even sure how I was going to go about doing it because this morning I spent some time looking around on YouTube for videos similar to this where people talk about their inspiration boards and I couldn't really find any. So I don't really know if it's something that people really do, but I'm gonna attempt it today and I hope you guys enjoy it. I am going to just give you guys a total rundown of the ideas and things that I've come up with over the years. This is on a board that I do have on Pinterest, but I've only just made public. So it was a secret board up until now. And the reason why I did that is because this board has always been like a dream board to me. And I wanted to be realistic about the time frames that we were going to be able to achieve things in and the kinds of interiors and inclusions in our home that we were going to be able to afford at the time. So I wasn't sure if everything on this wish list that I had was going to be a reality, but we're to that point now where we're starting to look at our budgets and our colors and everything for the home, and all of the things that I've dreamt of over the years is starting to look much more like a reality. So I'm very excited to be sharing my ideas so far with you guys so we can all get maybe a little bit of an idea of what this home will look like when it's done. And I totally invite you guys to offer your opinions and comments on the things that I've chosen so far and offer some advice because there are so many things that I'm completely stuck on at the moment and I desperately need you guys' advice. So I hope this is going to be a very constructive video for all of us. Okay, so usually when I'm on Pinterest, I'll see something that I really like and pin it straight to my board, and rarely do I go and check the board as a whole and see what everything looks like together. So when I went and did that the other day, I was surprised to see how consistent my style has remained over the years, despite so many new interior trends coming in and out. With regards to colors and styles, I'm very drawn to a mix of classic and contemporary, and I try to stick to colors that are more fresh and neutral tone that won't age. Because of this, you'll notice that a lot of the structural features of the home are like a white or a very light grey. And I do worry about having this much white and light grey in the home will make it feel a little bit cold or clinical. So you'll notice in a lot of the pictures, I've tried to include a lot of soft furnishings, lots of wools, lots of really warm colors to try and heat up the space a little bit and add to that classic feel. One thing that I absolutely adore and have loved since I was a little girl are hardwood timber floors. I think they're just so stunning and rarely do they age. These days, it's a little bit harder for me to have timber floors. We had them in our last house and they were a nightmare with the kids, just playing with their toys and not understanding that timber floors can dent. And for that reason, I just don't think it would be a good idea to go ahead and have timber floors in this house. I know that you can get timber look tiles at the moment, and I do think that they would be a better option for me at this stage. But I do worry that while a classic polished timber floor never really ages, I do think that perhaps a timber look tile might over the years, particularly when you're going with things that are sort of whitewashed or grey, which are very fashionable right now, but may not necessarily be in years to come. Having said that, I'm still very much tossing up having a very dark timber flooring on the lower level to our house, but ultimately it's going to boil down to what goes best with the colour scheme we've chosen, what's more practical and what's available to us at the time. The other flooring option which I'm particularly drawn to are the extra large porcelain high gloss tiles. I think they look so elegant. They're definitely more of a contemporary option. Out of the timber and the porcelain tile, this is the more expensive option. So once again, I don't know if it's going to be something that's completely practical for us, but it is something that I absolutely love. And if we did go in the way of the porcelain gloss tile, we'd probably go for something that is a very light grey, just to break things up a little bit. I'm thinking at this stage, we'll probably have a kitchen countertop that is white, cabinetry that's white and walls that are white. So just to avoid everything being clinical white, I thought having a nice high gloss grey floor could look quite effective. And another trend that I'm really loving at the moment is the concrete flooring. And while that's not something which I would go for personally, just because I know that they crack and they may not necessarily stand the test of time, I think having the high gloss grey tile is a more safe alternative to that. Next is my kitchen space, and this has probably been the hardest one so far because we definitely do want our kitchen to be a focal point of the style of the rest of the house. So with our kitchen, a big one for me is marble. And yes, up until now, I've talked about everything in the house standing the test of time or not wanting it to age. And marble is something that's definitely on trend right now, but may not necessarily be in a couple of years' time. However, looking back on trends throughout history, you'll see that marble does tend to go in and out fairly commonly, and it is something that's been used for a very long time, so it does add to that classic feel that I'm going for. So while I think we're going to keep the cabinetry white, or maybe even go for a light grey, another thing that I'm really tossing up and would love you guys' feedback on, I think for the bench top in particular, we're going to go with that marble, but keep it a very subtle marble. So we're probably going to go for a Carrara, Calcutta or Statuario, and those ones just look a little bit more smoky as opposed to being a very strong, dark, veiny color that some marbles have. I am more leaning to continuing that marble along the backsplash, just to make the kitchen feel a little bit more classic, because at this stage I'm feeling like all of the grey on the floor, all of the white cabinetry, the white walls, it is going to start to feel quite industrial or quite cool. And while I do love the industrial trend, like I love the concrete flooring, I love the concrete basins, I really do want to make sure that all of these interiors are going to last for quite a long time. Moving on to the living spaces, we're going to have 3 of these. We'll have 2 downstairs and 1 upstairs. And because we are looking at having the tiles on our lower level, I do want to make our living spaces look very warm and comfortable and inviting by adding a lot of woolen textiles and some warmer colors as well. So this is the picture that I've got for my main living area, and I am just dying over everything in this picture. We actually already have this couch, and I always had the intention of buying a lighter cover for this particular living space. The rug, hands down, I have to have this rug. I've already put it on order. As soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have it. I love how plush and cozy this rug looks, and I think that if we do go with the tile in the end, this rug is going to make a massive difference with the warmth of the room. And while they're not technically warm colors, I would like to add some navy couch cushions into this room and a few navy features, just because I really love navy blue. There's really no other excuse for it, and I think it will look really nice. And then for our other living space downstairs, I am obsessed with this emerald green. It's popping up everywhere at the moment, and this couch in particular I think is the perfect combination of bohemian and classic styles. The green color makes it look really fresh and Scandinavian, whereas the velvet texture and the tufting in the back of the couch cushions give it that classic vibe. So something like this, or this green in general, is just something that I'd really like to add to our other living space. Next, moving on to bathrooms. This is one that I have had a lot of trouble with. At this stage, I think we are going to do a feature tile that covers the floor of the bathroom and then goes up one of the walls, probably the wall that has the shower on it. And at the moment, I'm tossing up whether or not we're going to go with like a grey, dark slated tile or something that's a lot lighter like the Carrara hexagonal marble tile. I think the other 3 walls are definitely going to be like a plain white subway tile, but I think I'm going to keep the grout white in between these as well. So it's not going to have that very subway style look that you get when you use a black or grey grout with the subway tile. I have also pinned a few pictures that have just a really light slated grey tile covering the bathroom. I really love that as well. So this is something that I am very much still tossing up on. It's probably going to boil down to budget in the end, and we do have a session coming up with a color consultant who might be able to help us with these things. But if you guys want to offer your input on it, I would greatly appreciate that. So when it comes to kids' rooms, I really do want to keep the themes that I'd already set out for the kids in our previous house. This is because it's something that I spent a lot of time thinking out, I put a lot of effort into, and each of the styles I created for the kids in our last home very much reflected their personalities. So far, I haven't really pinned anything for Heidi's room because I would like to change it up a little bit now that she is getting older, and I haven't yet put too much thought into how I am going to do that while keeping the same style that we used to have. But for the boys, Archie has just been a little woodland boy from the day he was born, so I want to evolve that a little bit and create a room that's very much a reflection of him, but not necessarily a themed room, if you understand what I'm talking about. We just want to have colors and textures that are very woodland vibed, maybe a few timbers, and of course his little toys and things that are already woodland themed in there, but I want to avoid going too overboard with it. Louis is more of our bohemian baby. He's always had plants and outdoors incorporated into his room, and that is very much a true reflection of who he is as a child. So I would very much like to go back to the greens, back to the neutral tones, and back to having greenery and plants in his room to reflect that aspect of his personality. Now, I haven't actually pinned too much on the master bedroom yet, but in terms of the master wardrobes, this is something which I've been looking forward to for years. And I know there's mamas out there that can sympathize with me on that one, because my wardrobe is my sanctuary. It is my place. And going from having just a sliding glass door wardrobe to having a proper walk-in wardrobe, I want to make sure that I'm decking it out in the most effective way possible while remaining budget conscious. So the options that I've looked into so far are these two different options from IKEA. The direction I want to go with my wardrobe changes daily, and it switches between these two because one of them is a very classic built-in style wardrobe. There is space to hang clothes on, although it's not as much as what the other wardrobe is. And I would probably opt for this one if I was going to have more of a capsule wardrobe, and then use the many drawers of space to put clothes that were not in season, or just opt to folding more clothes. If I went in the opposite direction, I would probably opt to have more hanging space and choose to hang more things like t-shirts and singlets, and then use the bottom drawers for things that were not in season at the moment, or things like pants, socks and underwear. Both of them do have a fantastic amount of storage space for not just clothing, but you'll also notice there's shoes and handbags and other accessories as well. So I am definitely gonna go for one of these, but out of curiosity, I would love to know in the comments which is your personal favorite and why. You might also notice that these wardrobe inspiration pictures are very warm and whimsical, and that's the kind of vibe that I would like to continue out into our master bedroom, which brings me to this picture, which is I think the only one I have for a master bedroom so far, but really does show how simple and serene I want our bedroom to be. The carpet they've used in this picture is stunning, and I would really love to go with something that's just like this. I do also just adore this fresh white linen look, and we already did purchase some really nice quality linen sheets about a year ago, which we will definitely go ahead and use as a focal point for our bedroom again. So that just about wraps up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. I know it was something that's a little bit different, but I did really enjoy making it. Give it a huge thumbs up if you liked it. Hit subscribe if you are new and you want to see more videos like this. If you don't already follow me on my other socials, I have Snapchat, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And as per usual, I will have all of the links to those down below. And other than that, I will see you guys all next time. Bye.